Before Hurricane Ian, a lot of people from our area evacuated to the East Coast, and tonight we're seeing some East Coasters come to Southwest Florida.
NBC2's Gage Goulding is local for us tonight along the shores of Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah, good morning to you, Kelly and Peter. We're out here. Lake O is this vast darkness behind me here. You can't see it, obviously, because for many miles, there's nothing but water. And why we picked this location is because we're going to get more of the brute force of Hurricane Nicole here in Clewiston at the edge of Hendry County with no obstructions. And right now, wind is blowing this way. And a good visualization of this here, and there's a couple things I want to show. Brendan, can we zoom into this light post here in the colorful Christmas lights that are hanging here? It's a good illustration of a little bit of the wind that we're feeling here. You can see it waving in the wind, but it's also an illustration that the electric is still on in this area, and I know some of our colleagues out on the East Coast have talked about electric problems out on the East Coast and how they're starting to see some of those power outages. Here in Clewiston, as far as I can see, I see on the other side of our live truck here heading, looking towards the west, all the street lights are on, all of the red traffic lights are on, so that is good news for the folks here. And I did just check with some of the power companies. I saw 70 customers in and around Hendry County out right now, so all things considered, that is very good. Now, there were a lot of people that made the trek from the other side of Lake O, from Palm Beach County was a big popular area that made the trek here to Clewiston because they wanted to escape those hurricane-force winds. And the Walmart here off State Route 80, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've been to Clewiston, the big Walmart there, the parking lot looks like it's now transformed into an RV sales lot, because there's so many of those RVs and campers that have made the trek across the state, 60 miles or so from Palm Beach County, to get out of the path of Hurricane Nicole and get to a more safer location. Look, plain and simple, they haven't escaped the winds and they haven't escaped the rains, but where we're at right now is a lot better than where they would have been over there in Palm Beach County, right? And that's the exact reason they made the trek over here. I stopped by and talked with a couple of them earlier this evening. Take a listen.
I can probably take like 70, 80 miles an hour before things start to get really crazy and I have to hide behind a big building.
This would be a safe place to stay at, so that's why we decided to come down this area.
You hear the one gentleman there saying he can take 70 to 80 miles per hour. I asked him, these RVs, they look stable. They have the jacks that come down and kind of give them a little bit of stability. I said, honestly, how much wind do you think that these things could take, these RVs and campers could take? And that was kind of the consensus. Some I heard 50. The most I heard was 80 miles an hour winds before things might get a little dicey. One thing I heard from everybody that was on the same page, they don't want to test it. They don't want to try it. I don't blame them, and that's kind of why right now our photographer, Brendan, he's actually inside of our live truck because a multitude of things. Rain and cameras and the electrical equipment, well, they just don't match up. They don't mix up, and we certainly don't want to mix them up because we want to stay on the air for you. But if not, that camera shot that you're looking at would be like this. It'd be all over the place, and he's doing a really good job keeping it steady there, because even though we're only seeing a fraction of the winds that our folks over on the East Coast are seeing, it is still gusty out here. It's nothing like you're going to see where people are falling over just walking around. It's not like that, but it's enough to where you would definitely realize the difference. If you're out walking the dog tonight, you would definitely realize that this is a very gusty evening. It's a very gusty overnight. The winds are consistently moving through, and just like that, we started this report just a couple minutes ago, and the rain was coming down, and just now it's barely sprinkling. You can pop the hood off, and you're not even going to get that wet, and that's kind of what we've been seeing out here in the Clewiston area. Those bands of moisture, those bands of rain that are coming through with the wind. The wind will pick up, and it's kind of a consensus or a foreshadowing of the rain that's going to show up here in the next couple minutes. So the next time we see you, it might be pouring down rain again. And like I said, this is a great example. I'm kind of surprised that it worked out like this, because usually it's raining right before we go live, or vice versa. But this is a really good example of how it can go from moderate to moderately heavy rain to just a little bit of sprinkling. Like I said, you can take the hood off and not even get that wet. So like I said, one thing I want to focus on again, if you're just tuning in here, if we can zoom into the lights on this post one more time. Two examples here, and two good examples. One, the lights are on. That means power is on in the Clewiston area, and I haven't seen any lights go off in our vicinity, and I can see pretty much down towards State Route 80 from where I'm at. But you can see this fixture, the holiday fixture on the light post, kind of wavering in the wind just a bit. And I'm not sure if you can see the rain kind of, moving raining sideways, if you will. That's what my parents always used to say, is raining sideways outside. That's how strong the wind is. It is kind of doing that here. Like I said, it's not raining hard, but the wind, it's blowing to and fro. So that's the big concern that we're dealing with now out here in Clewiston. But those RVs, those campers, they made the good choice coming over this way to escape those much more severe gusts and winds out there on the East Coast. I'm reporting live and local here in Clewiston. Gage, Goulding, NBC2.